So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Kayla.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Melissa, and we're the Aquadolls.
And we have some questions to say about the upcoming album, Charmed. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Thank you. It's been really good. We're excited. We recorded it last June, so it's going to be a year since we recorded it, and then it'll finally be out. We've been waiting a long time, and we're really eager for our fans to listen to it.
Hell yeah. Been patiently waiting for new music from you guys, or like a new body of work, because there were so many singles, and I was like, there's got to be an album at some point, and then there just never was.
There were a lot of singles, weren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the album is great.
Yes,
Yeah,
it rocks so hard.
That's kind of how it works now. I feel like people don't really just drop albums anymore. Like, you have to kind of like milk the singles with Spotify, and like, I don't know. I personally love to listen to albums in their entirety, but for streaming purposes, singles.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Well, okay, so we were all Veggie Girl doing our Veggie Girl thing, and I think we were just like, wow, so we have this album and we don't have a name, and I had like a whole bunch of feelings, like just like feelings in my notes app, and like I was like, well, I want people to feel like this, I want people to feel like this, I want people to feel like this. And then one of them was like Charmed, and the other one was something else. And when I said it, I think Jackie was like, that's it.
Adoration. I don't know.
Adoration?
No.
Well, yeah.
But it was just kind of like one of those moments. And I think with the art, we kind of had a lot of trouble finding art. Like when we had that picture, it's a picture of Jackie, and I remember when we first got that picture, I was like, I want that to be the album cover. And then we ended up using it for the Beachy single cover, and we were looking and looking and looking through all of the photo shoots that we had done, and I still was like, no, I don't care if we put it on the single already, like that needs to be the album cover. I just feel like it captures the album. It's just such a cute and like charming picture. I think the color scheme, I think the fact that it's at the beach during sunset, it's a film photo. I feel like everything just kind of made it really, really, really encapsulate like what the album's about, and like how I wanted it to make, like how I wanted to make people feel.
Sounds,
So I think it just kind of fell into place, I feel like, which is cool.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Just started with a bunch of ideas, and then we had some demos. Our label listened to them, picked their favorites, and then we literally just got in the studio and got right to work. A lot of the songs we kind of just did from scratch. Some of them were older songs that we've been playing for a minute, but most of them we crafted pretty much in the studio.
Yeah, like a lot of them were literally, we had laid down some pieces of the track and the lyrics just weren't done. So like 5 seconds before Mel stepped in the booth, we went, okay. What do we have? Right.
Yeah.
It was like getting an assignment done like super last minute. Like you have to write the essay like the night before. It's like you do it for like it's like an emergency.
Yeah, it was very like quick, but I was surprised that like the quality that we kind of pulled out of our butts on the spot. I feel like we kind of needed that pressure to like deliver, because I really, really like how the album turned out. So I feel like it was good that we had that pressure, because it kind of,
Proved to ourselves.
Yeah, it proved that we could do it, and so that felt pretty good.
Yeah.
For sure. So would you guys say that you thrive under that pressure, or were there kind of moments where you felt like you were kind of cracking?
So we don't really have a choice but to work well under pressure. But that's how you make diamonds, right? So that's
exactly.
how we work. So we don't have time.
I feel like
It's like so trippy, because I really do think we do, like, I hate the feeling, but we do really good under pressure, because I feel like our best performances are like, it's almost like when we're like, and like when someone's really, really like stepping on our necks. I feel like because we have no other choice but to deliver.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we do well rather than cracking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Awesome. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorites?
The longest to write. I will come back to that, but Spotlight is my favorite. That one's gonna be on the album in June. That'll we did a music video for that one that'll come out with the album, but it's very cute, very gay, very kind of like a dance, like spring fling dance vibes, but also like whip your hair
Mhm.
vibes. Yeah, I don't know which one took the longest. Like I said, we had like 2 weeks in the studio and we kind of just like made it happen. I mean, maybe Cutthroat because we started that one so long ago. Not that the writing took long, but we've had that one the longest.
I would say we had Far Far Away the longest.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I feel like because we had such limited time in the studio, it was like, well, okay, wait. I think Scream took the longest to write because most of the songs were finished when we got in the studio, and that was the one that we really wrote like the entirety of, basically. Like we rewrote it from the demo in the studio, so I guess that one took the longest, and it's kind of like a silly one. But I think my favorite would be either Spotlight or Any Place But Here. I like Any Place But Here because it's kind of chanty. So I'm just excited to like play it live because I feel like people are gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And so that's like I'm excited to see how it turns out when we play it at shows.
Sure.
Yeah, we love a good sing along.
Hell
I
yeah.
think my favorite is either like Sneaky performing wise, I guess. Which is fun. But I like Far Far Away. Shoot, I don't know, I'm kind of blanking. But Sneaky is definitely like really fun to play, and I also think it is a little chanty too. Like it's catchy, but it's also like we can rock out, which is really fun. So.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
It kind of shuffled.
I just made an iTunes playlist and it was kind of like,
And yeah, like we just kind of
like I knew that I wanted Sneaky and Any Place But Here to like melt into each other because they're in the same key, and then everything else I was like, I'm open-minded to any order, and then we kind of I don't really know.
Yeah. I feel like I remember you making like that little playlist and we were just kind of like, well, I don't know if I want that right there. Let's move it right there. And we just kind of like saw what looked best and like sounded the best. So it wasn't like it was written any sort of way. It was just kind of like a let's see how it turns out. And then it ended up that like all of the singles are like the opening tracks to the album. So it kind of worked out really well for us because the label decided that like we would release it in that order. So that's pretty cool too.
All right.
Perfect. All right. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Oh my god.
In the clouds.
Yeah.
In the clouds, baby.
It was like robot mode, but in like I guess this was a little different. You guys go ahead.
Yeah.
Almost scatterbrained.
I was honestly like this. It was the time that we had to write it and record it. I think it was such a crazy time because Jackie and I were both working full time at a coffee shop together, like 5:30 a.m. shifts. And the way that it was is we had just gotten back from our co-headline tour. We were working full time, 5:30 a.m. And then right after we got off work, we would go straight to Boyle Heights and record until like 9 or 10 at night. And then we'd go home and then I'd see her again the next morning at 5:30 in the morning to go and work. So I just remember us like working every day, driving in that traffic and then recording. And I honestly like it sucks, but I like don't remember tracking a lot of the bass, and I'll see videos of me and I'm like, or I'll like listen and I'll be like, is this me?
When did I have time to do this?
Like, I did this, and I'll like show people and they go, oh, this is really good, and I'm like, I think I played on this. Like actually
I'm pretty sure that's me.
so like I was up in the clouds, but I think like when you get to a certain point of like not stress, but like when there's a lot on your plate and a lot of pressure, you kind of do enter like a default setting. And I think we've been doing this for long enough where we were just able to like, let's do it. I know what I want to do. I know how I want it to sound, so let's just figure it out.
Mhm.
And I wish I could say that it was like sunshine, lollipops, but there was a lot of pressure. But it was nice because we recorded with this guy Chris, and he has these 2 dogs and this gorgeous studio. So like when we got there, it was like dogs and shaggy carpets and like
It's like time stopped and you're just in the 70s.
so
Pen
Aw.
dog.
it was nice that there was that kind of like breath of fresh air, but my head was so far up in the clouds, like I was flying like a
Yeah.
kite.
Melissa, were you also working at 5 o'clock in the morning, or
I
were
was
you...
not. I was a little luckier on other shifts later in the day. But, I work at a vintage store sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. My mindset was kind of all over the place, depending on the song. Like some songs are kind of a little more emo and like wanting romance. So those are kind of like I don't know, like just a little more on the emo side. And then some of the more uplifting songs definitely like was just in the mindset of like wanting to make people feel good or make people feel something, like hopefully they can relate to it. So yeah, just in the mindset of rock and roll, really.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Taking a good rock album. That's what I was just trying to do is how can we make this sound really good and also how can we make this encapsulate our sound evolution from the early sound to the new sound that we've all created as a group and put a little piece of all of ourselves into it.
Hell yeah. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should I do it in the car with friends in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
There's a little bit of every vibe, really. You could listen alone and put the headphones on and just like think about it. You could put it loud on a speaker and play it at a party and it would go off at a party. You could do it driving. I mean, I feel like this would be a good like driving down PCH album, like driving by the beach, driving anywhere in the car.
I would probably, if I was to listen to it again for like the first time all the way through, I think, you know, like how sometimes there's just that album that you put on like when you're like laying in bed and you just like want to stare at a wall for a sec.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that's not the vibe of the album, but I think for the first listen, like just so you can really get every song, like it just gives me that like Lux Lisbon with her sisters crowded around a freaking vinyl kind of like virgin suicide moment, like listening to it with your girlfriends, people that you love, because I feel like a big theme is love, and it is for a lot of musicians, but something that I wanted to focus on this album is it's kind of like all sorts of love, so not just platonic, but like romantic and like yeah, like platonic soulmates and romantic soulmates and just love within
That's the
yourself.
magic. Like that's the magic, you know?
So just like in a space where you're really, really comfortable, in a space where you are free to be yourself, just so you can really kind of
You can go inward.
yeah, look inside yourself and kind of soak it all up, because I think that we played around a lot with like messages, and I feel like there's a song for everyone. So I really would just like when you have time to sit and like just like do
Because
this.
like it can be therapeutic, but therapeutic doesn't have to be like so, I know this the word doesn't sound like so fun. So like the therapeutic things can actually be really fun and like I said, magical. Like it doesn't have to be like this like medical term or like mental health term, just that. Like it can be more.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's in there with that. I think we forget. So
Absolutely.
For sure. I love it. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 9 total.
Slay, sexy, fun.
Oh, damn.
I was gonna say sexy, sparkly, cute.
Ah, that's good. That's good.
girly,
Mhm.
whimsical,
Mhm.
Sassy.
There you go.
There you
Fuck
go.
yeah.
Nice.
Definitely got sass. Lots of sass.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
Just want them to feel good and feel loved. Whether it's love by other people or love within yourself. I mean, you got to start with self-love before you love anyone else. So feel some love within you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think like just being open to the idea of new things. I feel like change is super scary, and the album is different than what we've put out before. We tried to obviously incorporate different sounds, but I feel like when they're listening to it, just like being open to new eras of music and new eras of bands, and sometimes we're not going to sound like the way that we did the last album or the one before, but just being very open and seeing if they like it or not, and not just going, well, this doesn't sound like them. So,
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it either.
It's true.
Yeah.
Teach their own.
Obviously, there's been a sound change. You guys have been talking about it. I'm hoping that the fans have been receptive thus far.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
It's been pretty cool. I like that we're able to play around with like heavier songs and people, because I feel like sometimes making that transition of like more rock and roll and more punk rock songs, people kind of just shut off. But I think that we've been able to pull it off in a way where we're able to kind of draw the crowd in with like songs like Burn Baby Burn and stuff. Cutthroat's another one. It's the closer on the album, and that one's like a really fun, like just like punk song. And every time we've played both of them live, I think we've really, really been able to take the hearts of the people watching. And one of them's an opener. Like we opened the set with Burn Baby Burn, and it's cool because you kind of see everyone go, oh, okay, this is how we're starting. Let's go. And I like that because a lot of bands, I feel like, can't get away with jumping genres as much as we do.
Yeah, it's fair. All right. So are you guys able to talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Oh my god.
Click track for me. A little challenging, but not too bad. But I always that's the first thought I have, because click tracks and drummers, like it's kind of like love-hate relationship we have.
Yeah.
So, but it was good for me because I used to play click track a lot in high school, and I did eventually get really used to it. So it's a good and bad. So that's my good and bad.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like that was I feel like that is pretty, like, for me too. I had never recorded music before. Like, I'm not like a trained musician. I went to camp for a week when I was a teenager, and then they said, here's a great opportunity, take it, and have no formal training whatsoever. So it was pretty difficult in the studio for me, just like honestly trying to come up with things off the top of my head. I got really frustrated. Like, I cried. I was like, it kind of made me feel like maybe I'm not meant to do this. Maybe this isn't what is for me. But I think there's so many different ways. There's not like one right way to be a musician and write music. And I felt very lucky that I was with the girls, because they're really like supportive. And Chris was like really, really, really supportive in the studio when I was feeling like that. But I think it was easy to be hard on myself, because like I don't do like traditional, like, oh yeah, play this note and play this scale. Like, Melissa literally taught me notes like before our second or third tour. I didn't even know how to play them. I just read tabs. So I think that was kind of hard, because sometimes they'd be like, oh, we'll shoot out this. And I was like, I literally don't even know if I can do that. And so, but it pushed me to like be a better musician and to learn more and to like open up my head. But I definitely like had those moments where I was like sitting there crying, because I was like, I don't know what you are saying to me. You are speaking a foreign language to me, and I just want to play. And I didn't think it would be like this. But I guess it's like I don't know. It definitely pushed me a lot, but then on the bright side, it pushed me and I learned a lot and I grew from it and I was able to kind of expand my craft more, which is nice. And there's so much more learning to do and I'm nowhere near like perfect, but it did make me feel better that I went through that because I feel a lot more confident in my playing now. And the bass playing on the album is like the most like complex, I guess, I've ever done.
Yeah.
So I'm proud that I got to say that like I did all of that.
Fuck yeah.
I'm glad that I did it, but it was definitely a high and a low.
Absolutely. I'm very proud of you. You're fucking killing it, man.
Thank you.
Let's
That's so
go.
nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. Like I came up with these riffs for certain songs in my head, and like in my brain, I'm like, I can play that easy, easy. And then when it came to actually recording it, oh my God, like I think it was like Spotlight, the guitar solo. I had to play it over like maybe 2 hours, like the same part over and over, just trying to
Oh
get
my
it.
God.
And like Chris, the guy who recorded us, is so patient. Like Kayla said, he was so patient, so encouraging, just like, it's okay, go again, go again. And he let me just kind of take my time to like actually get the part. And like,
It's good.
he didn't just like splice it, like take notes and like put it here and kind of stick it where it belongs. Like, he let me like get that take and like do it over and over. And it did take me like quite a few tries to get certain songs down. And then like I think it was like Far Far Away, there's a palm muting part and it's pretty fast and I was like practicing a bunch, like trying to get like the speed right.
Yeah.
And Chris was just super patient and super like, just take your time, get it right, you'll get it, you got this, really encouraging. And that was really cool. And I pushed myself in ways that I thought I could do in my brain were a little harder to execute, but at the end of the day, it got done and I'm very proud of it. And it's really like helped me, I feel, improve as a player of guitar, to challenge myself and put myself on the spot in the studio to like really nail it. And even though it did take a few tries, I got it. So that's all that matters.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, exactly.
So since you guys are on tour, we have to ask, what's been the go-to snack at a rest stop?
I like the sweet chili Doritos.
Mhm.
Nice.
Apple pie.
Oh.
I literally, so I haven't bought any at rest stops, but I brought a bag of sour candy on tour, and I'm trying to eat my way through it because I knew if I left it at home, no one would eat it.
Yeah.
So it's literally like 3 bags of like sour belts and 2 bags of Nerds.
Oh, fuck yeah, best choices.
Nerds gummy clusters are the best candy that's ever been invented.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna eat them every day, and I haven't even like touched my bags because I'm just like, but I'm gonna say that to hold myself accountable, finish these bags of candy because
Exactly.
literally 5 bags of candy that need to be done.
Yeah.
I feel like we can do it easy.
You just gotta start throwing it out at the crowd during shows.
Yeah.
You gotta just like find a way to just get that out, man.
Someone in the crowd's like baby birds are like
throwing like little sour belts at people. They're
Yeah.
really good though. So I know that if I wasn't sleeping in the van half the time, I'd probably be eating them. Those Nerds gummy clusters, you guys. Oh my God.
so
They're
good.
So good.
We will be checking it at the end of tour to see if the candy is all gone.
empty bag ready to show everyone to prove their system.
You gotta frame them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Butternut squash ravioli. Oh, sorry.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
pasta too.
I was gonna say pasta.
Look at you guys all on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Oh, I love pasta.
Like,
Like a good
Olive
pasta.
Garden.
Olive
Yeah,
Garden.
Olive Garden. Fuck yeah.
We're an Olive Garden band for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Or sushi. But
Two completely different things.
I took your question and I just said, "What's my favorite thing to
Yeah,
eat?"
that's like
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's good though. Yeah.
Cute if we had a mermaid roll, sushi roll.
I feel like as a band, I feel like we give off pastry vibes
Oh. Mm-hmm.
because I know that I love pasta and I love sushi, but like as a band, I feel like we give off like really fancy pastries that you see at like that one cafe, Figaro Bistro in LA in Los Feliz. It's like this like French bakery cafe thing. And there's like all these fancy ass desserts. And I'm like, I feel like that's us because we like to dress up and be silly. So
All
we're
right.
like
Awesome.
horse truffle cake at Figaro Bistro.
With the cherry on top.
So many different answers. I
Lovely.
love the variety.
Yeah.
So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
That would be a dolphin and also because I could swim in the ocean and use echolocation.
What the fuck was the
Okay.
noise that just came out of your mouth?
All right. Cool.
That's awesome.
I would be either a Persian cat because they're fancy, but it would have to be like I would have to be like a rich person's cat, like the ones that like feed their cats fucking quail eggs and duck bones. Like I would want to be like the fanciest, most expensive cat in the world, or I would want to be a giant African land snail because they are really cool looking and what is it called? Like hermaphrodites, like they can like have babies like on their own and shit and like switch, and they're just like really cool and they're really big and they're also considered pests, and they're kind of like cats in the way where their tongues are like spiky so they can like strip drywall, and that's why they're considered pests because they can like take over rainforests and shit. And I have a tattoo of a little snail on me for those babies, so they're illegal in the United States, but if you see me with one, mind your business.
This is all a snail? This is a snail that's doing this?
Yeah, giant African land snail. They get like this big. If you Google it, you'll see like the most popular picture is this girl holding it like this, and it's like giant. And they get really, 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 really big. But they were born like tiny, like they can fit on your freaking pinky nail. And then they get giant. And I know they're like in Australia and stuff. There's a girl on YouTube who has one, and its name is Shrek. And she like documents its growth from when it was like a little baby to like when it's big. I think she's Australian or New Zealand. Yeah.
Cool. You know
I-
your shit. I
I
respect
learned
it.
something new today.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like Melvin. There's the Eric from Sublime with Rome. He has, and Sublime obviously. Sorry. He has a dog named Melvin, and I fell in love with Melvin really fast. I think everyone did. But yeah, he basically like lives a pretty chill life. Like it's like he can go on stage and play fetch, and it's like he just like hangs around and is like really chill. But if I wasn't that, I'd probably be like a tiger, like a leopard, because like I do like to run, but like yeah, and I can get aggressive.
There you go.
Hell yeah. All right.
Valid reasons. All right. So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I would want to have lunch with Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh.
Can I go to that lunch too?
Sure. I just want to know what she has to say, and I want to let her know that I love her. Wait, did you say celebrity or musician? Because I don't think she makes
It's
music.
both. And either. Yeah.
Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith. I would love to have lunch with Lizzo one day, but I genuinely think I would just like cry. Like I would cry the whole time.
Oh, absolutely.
like,
Me too.
In the van the other day, I was like watching a video of her, and I was like, imagine us on that stage, and then my eyes started watering, and I was like, the fact that I'm crying just like thinking about her.
Mhm.
I don't know if I could ever meet her because I literally love her so much, but that's like my dream is just to like cook for her and then be like, I love you.
Fucking love Lizzo. It's
I would
awesome.
love to have lunch with Lady Gaga, but I would also probably be crying the entire time.
Mhm.
I would just love to pick her brain and understand how it works and the mother monster mind, but also I would probably be crying as well.
Nice.
Valid.
I think well, obviously Dave Grohl, like I would love to, but like I would want to like jam with him. But I think Brittany Murphy would be really cool. I think we could have some really like just get down to the freaking good conversations. And she's also like just silly and fun, and I feel like she'd be really fun to have lunch with, and like probably like Keanu Reeves, because
Yeah. Yep. Yep. You got me there. Keanu Reeves. Fuck yeah. I love that man.
So for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
Okay, so one movie, I'd probably bring The Goonies because it's my favorite. I love The Goonies. I know it from front to back. I can recite it from front to back. I would bring my fiance Jacob. I love him so much I could not live without him. And for album, I'd probably do Live Through This by Hole because it makes me feel every emotion ever. I think it perfectly encapsulates my experience in life. So I would bring The Goonies, Jacob, and Live Through This.
Nice.
Loved it.
I think of a person. I'm a dick. I would definitely be watching Clueless. I can recite that movie. It never gets old, no matter how many freaking times I've watched it. It's many. And an object?
I think it was an album.
An
Album in person is what you're missing. Yeah.
I would bring Pop 2, Charlie XCX, bangers, so many good features, great album. I'll just bring her. Can I bring Charlie XCX too?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I just really like that movie Sweet Charity. Like it's a musical, but like it's Shirley MacLaine, and it's like literally I could not tell you how many times I've seen it. Like I probably over 25 times. I think about it every day. And I really want to watch it with them, but we never have time, so I'm getting angry. But yeah. And then I bring my band that they are one person.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and then probably like all of it's okay. Fine, I'll make it. And then album. I mean, obviously, like I don't know any album names because my brain like doesn't work like that. I don't know names of anything really, or so. But I can whatever album Everlong is on like that.
Oh
And
yeah.
honestly, like because it could be like a vibe. I don't really know how to say this band either, but I've been listening to them a lot. It was zeros or O's 70 or
Oh,
07
shake. Yeah.
070 shake or I've tried to Google how to say it,
But no one has the answer. So everyone's just kind of confused with it then.
too much. So yeah, I feel like this is like we go like way in depth with these questions. Sorry.
No, that's
all
good. That's what we asked for.
Oh, yeah. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Come see us on tour. We're gonna be on tour till June 4th. Spring Fling tour. We're gonna play Ohana Fest. We have another festival that we haven't announced yet, but wink wink, something else coming up. And listen to our album Charm when it comes out June 2nd, and go stream all of our singles and follow us at Aquadolls.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you for silence, guys. It's been the Aquadolls, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.